A fantastic welcome to the 2021 Solo Pro Series with 114 boats showing up to battle Grand Lake in Grove, Oklahoma. Today's tournament presented by Mouse X. It's an easy-to-use natural-derived product used for controlling mice. Motion Fishing Company, hand-tied jigs, custom soft plastics, hard baits, the official lure of Solo Pro Series, Championship Marine Repair, full-service fiberglass repair facility, and more, giving away $1,000 cash to Angler of the Year. And again, Best Automotive, a complete automotive service and repair, family-owned and operated since 1996. Stay tuned and enjoy the action.
So tough down here at Grand Lake. Had all you could eat catfish last night. Just say I come to Oklahoma and got fish. And I ain't lying. There's a whole bunch of these guys struggling.
Well, what do you do when the conditions are so tough? How do you mentally deal with that?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I just keep slinging. You gotta keep casting. Keep casting. They're catching them. You just gotta figure it out.
Well, the wind ought to make you a little bit better, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I have not figured out anything. I've watched some people catch some fish way up the river, or way down the river. Went to dam where it's clear. The water's clear and warmer down there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a big long run.
You switch out baits a lot every 30 minutes, or just rotate your spots? How do you?
Yeah, birds working right there. That's what you do, is follow them bait fish. Try to get in them.
Are you graphing them at all?
Yeah, trying to. But I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. Them kids say they call them shallow, but I can't prove that.
Yeah. What's the water temperature you're finding?
So yesterday afternoon I had 48 when I pulled out.
48?
48. But like right now it's 41. And doesn't matter 48, 41, I'm not getting bit.
Today's a different day.
That's right. We're going home tonight.
All right.
Don't have a whole lot going on, but I mean, a jerkbait bite's going to be the thing for me. So.
You catching any A-rigs or any?
I haven't even thrown it. I may throw it a little bit today, but yeah, I don't like the thing, so I don't really throw it.
Yeah. Any pre-fishing that you've done?
I've only actually been here one day, and I mean, caught them on a jerkbait and a jig.
Good morning, crew. How we doing?
Not much. How you doing, man?
Ready to catch some fish at Grand Lake.
I mean, you're all over Boatworks posters now.
Moving around.
We're talking to a true celebrity right here.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Well,
just a guy trying to fish.
Are you gonna give me a sob story like everybody else?
About fishing?
Yeah.
I never catch fish. I mean, that's not a sob story. It's just science. I mean, it is what it is.
Why can't you guys just go like, dude, I'm on them. I don't know what these guys talking about.
I'd say between 22 and 23 pounds.
Yeah.
Probably pretty regular.
On anything you want, right?
3 years ago when I was here, I almost caught 1/3 that. So with that history, then it should be a piece of cake.
It's tough conditions.
Very tough conditions.
How do you deal with something everybody's saying it's tough?
It is real tough, and you just go fishing.
You like to do something different?
I'm
this
planning
kind of
on
conditions?
doing a little bit something different today.
Jerkbaits, A-rigs.
Jerkbait, A-rigs, jig.
Now, how do you
crankbait.
mentally prepare, or for tough conditions like this? If you're not catching one or two here, do you just keep hitting the same areas, or?
No, I move around a lot. You got to find some fish that are biting. That's the problem. There's a lot of fish on this lake that's not biting right now.
Chris with Skirmish Baits, Sergeant Chris, right?
You got it.
How long was you in the military for?
Well, a little over 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, been to Afghanistan and Iraq, and wouldn't change a thing. Loved it.
So how'd you get into fishing then?
Man, it's always been kind of a passion. Since I was a little kid, I had my dad always took me fishing, crappie fishing, bluegill fishing, and it just kind of grew from there. And I started out with a $1,000 bass boat and Walmart combination rod and reels and mono line, because I didn't know no better, and kind of evolved from there over the last 12 years. and it's got me to where I'm at today.
Yeah, seems like you upgraded. Been pre-fishing?
Yeah.
It's all, everybody say it's been tough.
Yeah, I've been pre-fishing for a couple days now. It's been real tough.
The wind's gonna blow today.
It's gonna blow today, so I'm gonna say, like KVD, fish the wind.
Now, do you fish the wind different with that live scope? So I know if you live scope or if you target them on your graphs, you fish it a little different?
So what I do is I got the Garmin trolling motor, hit the anchor button, and I've got an electronic turret, so I can actually, with remote control, change the live scope to stay on the fish. So hopefully they'll bite today, and we can come back in with a full limit.
Mr. Chad Deaver,
Hey, good morning,
got fourth last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you always catch them, so I want to hear how you gonna do it today.
You know, Grant, I'm doing good. It's been a long week down here. It's tough out there, you know. It's like if I got to get 5 bites and I got to put them in the boat, you know. It's but I've struggled with this cold, muddy water. You know, the whole lake's muddy, minus the lower end. I'm gonna run down there and hope for the best. At least it feels like a comfort zone down there for me. But
so I've been here one time, drove down overnight to fish at Nichols Marine with Marty Bulkey. Other than that, I've never been here. So first
Well, I mean,
time.
this kind of falls into what you like: Truman, shallow,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of cover.
Everybody's been saying it's super tough, so I just came down, figured I got a shot.
So you didn't pre-fish. You're.
No,
So is there a game plan that you go off of, not pre-fishing?
fish shallow and wing it.
Yeah. You think the wind's gonna help? Cause it's been
I
tough.
hope so. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a blade a little bit, wiggle ward, fish
yeah?
shallow.
You
Yep.
gonna have a jerk bait or anything?
I
that
got a
you-
jerkbait tied on. Jerkbait jig, wiggle ward, and a spinnerbait.
So are you gonna target dirtier water or?
Yeah, I'm gonna run up.
So it's a beautiful lake. It's Grand Lake. It's where they held the 2013 and the 2018 Classic, and it is amazing. However, it's cold and it's muddy. They had the College National Championship here a couple days ago, and Drury won it with 13 pounds a day, 3 days in a row. So that's pretty impressive. So you can catch them. There's just not a lot of fish to catch, and there's not many big bass or big bags to be had. So 15 to 17 pounds, probably gonna win it, and that's pushing it. You catch 2 or 3 fish, you're gonna get some points and maybe get a check.
Well, Luke, you made a drive.
Sure did.
Full shows. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, how'd you catch them down there? Just a little recap.
Jerkbait and spinnerbait, pretty shallow all day.
Well, should be the same here, right?
No, probably not. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple motion fishing jigs and crank some crankbaits and throw a couple Ozark flash spinnerbaits. And if we don't catch them, we'll put it back on the trailer. And if we do, we'll look like a hero.
Now, springtime, do you, what kind of color do you like on them motion fishing jigs?
I'm gonna throw the dirty moe and black and blue today. I might tie on a moe craw finesse jig. That's really my confidence, but I'm gonna try to run up the river and just hope something happens today. It's been tough on everybody here. I know it's been tough, so I'm just gonna try to, I'm prepared to zero, but I'm just gonna fish as hard as I can all day and hope to find 4 or 5 good fish.
Grand Lake Tournament conditions presented by Skirmish Baits. Hand-painted topwater crankbaits and jerkbaits. And favorite fishing, future of fishing, giving away over $4,000 worth of rods and reels throughout the season.
Charger boats, Mercury Marine, Lose, now Strike King as well, Vicious Fishing, and Amphibia Eyewear. So I switched to the Amphibia glasses because they float when they fall off my face. I do this time of year, I tip chartreuse instead of orange because they're starting to transition. So I use orange, but I don't tip my baits with it.
Yeah, baby. That's some hog snack.
This is a bigger one. Team shooting line.
Woo! Finally! Oh my God, they exist! Holy cow! That's how they're supposed to hit it too. He touches. Hallelujah. I'm not gonna zero. Run on it. How many of them things have I fished today?
I rolled 2 and I had one beside the boat this morning already that got off. I got one in the live well.
You're getting a lot more bites than a lot of guys are talking about.
Yeah, well, I figured out the cadence that they wanted. I was letting it pause. They wouldn't bite it. I was going down some boat dock and I was trying to reel my lure in real quick, so I jerk, and I caught a fish. So I started doing it, and I started getting bit every. If I'm on fish, they'll bite it. So I just keep hitting a million spots. I pull up on a spot, boom, boom, just like over there. 2 bites, 2 casts, and then nothing. Then you just pick up and go someplace else. And if they're there, they'll bite it. If they're not there, they won't. Just move to the next one. And then I got about 20 spots. I've just been rotating. That one over there, I caught a small one on Thursday, and I came in here twice yesterday, and there was a boat on it both times, so I didn't fish it. There's not nearly as many boats out right now as there was yesterday.
Got him that time. Good one. Smallie. Oh, stay button. Come here. Ah, terrible nut job. You suck at that. There we go. Love me some Elk River smallmouth.
See where that rock sticks out up there on the tip of that point?
Yeah.
There's a brush pile there.
You catch them around wood at all?
Well, I think there's brush piles under all those spots where I'm catching them. But I know there's one there, and every time I've gone by here, one time, first pass by, I can catch a couple fish or two off of it. And then the rest of the day, I can't get hit on it. But I can get it one time. I was fishing over there, and there were like 2 or 3 boats went over it. I'm like, well, when I'm leaving, I'll hit it. And I caught 2 fish off of it. Yesterday when I came to it, I got my jerkbait hung up in it, so I kind of screwed it up.
Nobody is. Oh, that's Bob. I didn't recognize you. New ride. You new ride, new canvas? Yeah. What about you? Did you catch it? Did you have?
What's that, Joe?
Did you have one back here?
Huh?
Did you catch one back here? Oh.
I rolled one over there, but I'll catch one down the sink.
Oh my God. You son of a bitch. Look at the size of this fucking drum. Oh, it's a buffalo. All I want is my lure back that doesn't exist anymore. Don't you want your slimy carcass in my boat? I guess I'm going to keep swimming. Wow. Big thing. I was really excited there for about 1 second.
Hang on. I need you. Yes. Look at that Grand Lake giant. Look at that pig. That's a Grand Lake every bit of 5. I'd say that's a pretty good trade up. All right, it is 8:42 and I finally got something figured out a little bit this morning. I've got 3 in the boat, 2 just a little over 14, and 1 nice smallmouth. Kind of what you'd expect on the Elk River. And so we're going to keep doing what we're doing here. And should have had the cameras going earlier, but I really wasn't on that much. And didn't know if it'd be anything worth, any kind of story worth telling or not. But the morning's starting off pretty good. See if we can keep it going and fill out a limit and cull a couple of them smaller ones. Good start to the morning. That smallmouth was a dandy. Wow, that was fun. Fishing just a little 5/16 ounce brown black jig with a little critter crawl trailer on the back, and just have to go really slow. And they don't seem to be up shallow. They're down deeper, kind of on the bottom. I went down here with the jerkbait once and had 1 bite and missed it. And they don't seem to want to come up for it. So maybe if the wind picks up a little bit later, they'll hit on it. But for the time being, the jig is doing the trick. That time. Good one. Smallie. Stay button, stay button, stay button. Terrible that job. Suck it down. There we go.
I've got a little YouTube channel, and it's called Mike Bass Outdoors, and that's where I put a lot of this GoPro stuff. You know, today, unfortunately, I put my head down. I didn't use the GoPro. I didn't want to use it at all. I used it on the run, and that was it. I said, you know what? That's a distraction. I'm gonna fish today.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that way. You got to do that.
Now, what lakes do you fish that you have on your YouTube channel?
Oh, a lot of Illinois lakes. You know, we kind of go all around. I like to go Lake of the Ozarks, and that's so close for us. We have a condo there, so yeah. I'm always there, you know. But hey, it's called Quest to Go Pro. So all I do is just go challenge myself on random lakes and stuff like that.
That's cool.
It's neat. It's something to do.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you like these kind of lakes? These shallow?
Oh, I love them. This style of lake, if it would have been a week later, I would have been in heaven, I think. You know, I had to do a lot of stuff I'm very comfortable with, like throwing a jerkbait in dirty water It's something people don't really do that much, but that's what I had to do. And a lot of short series of twitches to get them to bite. 110, stain reaction. And it didn't matter if it was silent or had rattles. That's my big.
Oh. Now how'd you catch him?
Jerking.
Shallow or deep?
Yeah, jerkbait and shallow.
You got to bang it off the rocks, or does it?
I really concentrated on channel swings. Nice spot at best. Channel swing banks and secondary points that were really close to the main lake. You know how you got a V cove and the point kind of comes out like that, but you got two main lake bluff ends and you got a little secondary point. Those are the places I was concentrating on. I just felt like they could move up and get back out deep quick, you know.
I threw an A-rig off and on, but for the most part I threw that black and gold stick bait right there. Old Excalibur Edwin Evers. There she is. And that was brand new out of the box when I started today.
It's got those teeth marks on the side of it.
Oh yeah. That's what I caught a 15-pound buffalo with. I actually hooked a buffalo in the mouth.
Do you think it was just a late afternoon bite?
I don't know. I think the wind was pushing cold water out of the dam up into where I was fishing yesterday. The temperature dropped 5 degrees. So then I went up in Duck Creek towards the back and then went up to 45 degrees and started catching fish. So
what'd you end up weighing?
794. Had 4 fish.
Probably gonna hold pretty good today.
So, I don't know, we'll see. I said one thing I can tell the folks at home, this lake does not fish like Lake of the Ozarks and Table Rock.
But it looks very similar to Lake of the Ozarks.
It does. It really does.
Docks, houses on the lake, riprap.
Yep, all of it's there. And even where I was fishing yesterday, 20 feet off the bank, there was big chunks of trees down in the water. People make crappie beds. And there wasn't a thing in them. Really? Not one thing.
So you just think they're holding the rock, warming up?
I guess. They were all shallow. They were all in 3 foot of water or less.
What's the water temperature up there?
Up in Duck Creek where I caught them at, I was at 45, 47, at about 130.
Well, what can you tell everybody out there?
Super shallow.
Ain't that weird? Is that a weird?
I was in the back of every long creek pocket, never over 4 foot of water. I caught a ton of shorts.
What's the water temperature back here?
Almost 50.
Hey.
48.
Anything particular you're doing that you caught on to? A pattern?
I caught them real well yesterday. I just go into a spot, try to find a little bit of wood and 4 or 5 foot of water, and every spot I went to, the first piece of wood I went to had a good keeper on it, and I went and hit that in 20 different spots yesterday just to see, bent my hooks in, and they were whacking it pretty good. And that's what they did today. They whacked it, they didn't eat it. I had the 5th one on 3 times, and one of them was a good 5-pounder. I went back for the net. I guess I gave him slack. He said, see ya.
Did they come up shallow at the end of the day, or did you catch them all day like that?
I was waiting for it to warm up, dude. A jerkbait all morning. Never had a sniff.
So what'd you have to throw an A-rig or?
Yeah, I threw an A-rig. 16-ounce head, 16th-ounce heads on them.
Well, what'd you figure out that you can tell everybody else so they don't have this pain?
Well, I don't know if it'd work for everybody else, but the last thing I did today was hit some pea gravel banks and jerkbaiting them, but they was real shallow. This fish come out of less than a foot of water.
Did you banging it off the rocks?
Yeah.
Good. Any certain
rocks with it.
Well, were you fishing it deep all day, and then you just decided, hey,
I was out in 6 to 10 foot of water. I didn't think they'd be that shallow, and I was mainly focusing on chunk rock banks, cliff banks, points, stuff like that. I come across this gravel point point, not really a point, but a bank, and it had a little bit of timber on it, not a whole lot, but it was just right up there on the bank, and I lost 2 more right after that. You know,
was the water warmer? Is that why? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean the temperature on the water that I was fishing was 48 degrees. I messed up, ran towards the dam, and it got colder as I went that way, and I decided to come back, and that's when I figured this out. And a lot warmer water up here than it was down there. So
hold this 8-pounder up you got.
Yeah, it's far from 8, but at least it'll give me some points, I think. There she is. Fat little belly on her.
It's amazing they're up shallow.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked. I mean, I wouldn't have imagined them being that shallow.
Is this your first time fishing, or?
Yes, sir. It's first year in the solo.
You gonna try to fish all of them?
Definitely. Hopefully they'll be a little better to us than this one. This one's a grind. Somebody whacked them, I'm sure of it.
Well, what do you think they're doing? What's the reason it's so tough?
That is a great question. I don't know.
Does the water need to warm up a degree or two?
Yeah, it's cold right now. I mean, there's some warmer water on the lake, but they just every fish that every fish that I did catch, you can tell they're just getting, you know, real white, no color to them, so they're still definitely wintertime.
Yeah. And you try everything, you know, your
I threw
standard.
the sink at them.
Threw a sink out?
I threw the sink at them.
Oh,
everything, A-rig, you name it, jig. I did lose a fish on a jig, which was.
Well, you'll get them next time.
Yeah, what do you recommend?
I'd throw a spinnerbait.
See, I haven't even thrown one.
I'd throw a spinnerbait.
But now then the water temperature's coming up.
Once that gets 70 for 3 days, this dirty water, they're gonna.
Is that what you caught them on a day, spinnerbait, or?
Caught some on a spinnerbait, most of them on a jerkbait, but I was down by the dam.
Yeah.
You need to stay up here in this dirty water.
I think you're the only man catching them on a wiggle wart.
Well, I wasn't catching them. I just caught one. I figured I tied it on last night, and whoo, she looks big though.
Do you have any other?
I thought I'd catch some jerkbait fish, and I thought went for four of them after I caught this one. I couldn't. Probably.
Hold her up there, Mike. That came on a wiggle wart.
Next up to the scales, Randy Doman. Is that correct, Doman? All right, Randy Doman got 5 fish limit. Oh, he's gonna do 1 for pig. Let's see what that sucker weighs. 5.48, 5.48. We're gonna add 4 fish to that to complete his limit. We had 116 boats today. We have never had that many boats, and we really appreciate all you anglers, everybody at home sharing our post, getting our name out there. You know, our circuit is we believe a really sorry, I just got some nods and stuff from the owner here. All right, so 5 fish limit. 17.70. We have a new leader. Let's hold some of those up for the folks at home that can't see. Gotta find the big ones. Gotta find the big ones. Got 17.70. Wow, look at that. Just right there at the GoPro. Got some big fish. Very impressive day. All right, good job.
Thank you.
How'd we catch those fish today?
Fishing a jig up the elk.
Fishing a jig up the elk.
Yep, it was a grinder all day long. I caught the last one, the biggest one, literally about 5 minutes before the end of the day, trying to pull a 14-inch. So it was tough. But I caught 7 fish all day, and too early, and then it kind of every 2-3 hours. But it great day overall and pulled that last 14-incher at the end of the day with a big 5.5. So great day.
Well, awesome job, awesome job. We've got a new leader, 17.7. Here's a win, so we want to keep on to that.
March 7th, Grand Lake Solo Pro Series tournaments. Listen to Randy Doman and Kevin Miller on how they caught their winning fish. Winning ways provided by Mouse X, a natural derived product used for controlling mice. Motion Fishing Company, the official lure of the Solo Pro Series. Hand-tied jigs, custom soft plastics, hard baits, and more. And Best Automotive, a complete automotive service and repair, family owned and operated since 1966.
Hi, I'm Randy Doman. I got first place in today's Missouri Bass Fishing Solo Pro Tournament on Grand Lake. Had a great day. Ended up with just over 17 pounds. Caught 7 fish all day. It was a grind. Went way up the Elk River, found some cleaner water, and that seemed to help. And basically threw a little finesse jig on some rocky banks up there, about 8 to 10 foot deep, and caught probably, I don't know, 12 to 13 pounds doing that. And finally the bigger fish turned on this afternoon. I got 2 big bites on a couple of root wads later in the afternoon, including the biggest one, the 5.5, came right at the end of the day when I had about 10 minutes before I had to make it back to weigh in.
Any specific weight that you were using or size of a jig?
Yeah, it was a 5/16 Dobbins, green and green pumpkin brown, a little bit of black in it, with a brown critter crawl trailer. Cut the skirt up, it was pretty small. 12-pound Seaguar line, and then a 7-foot Bass Pro Shops rod, Lew's reel, and just basically, finesse jig fishing, typical Ozark style. And the fish were down 6 to 10 foot deep, and ended up being, 1 bite every hour or so. I mean, they weren't really, one time they turned on, I caught 2 small ones early, right at 14 inches that I culled at the end of the day with the 2 big ones, and that made the difference.
Now, do you target channel banks, or were they, a lot of people were saying they were shallow for some reason?
Yeah, I couldn't get a bite shallow. I came down Friday afternoon for about 2 or 3 hours and found the fish that I ended up catching today, but I couldn't catch them on Friday. I kept trying to throw a jerkbait on them because they were on the back of a channel swing, pretty clear water, and I tried jerkbaits till I couldn't stand it anymore, and they wouldn't hit it. And so I finally switched up to a jig today, and that seemed to be the key because they weren't up on the bank. I had to go, probably 10, 12 feet at least off the bank, and then work it down, 6 to 10 foot deep before I finally would get bit.
Now, how did you know about the Elk River? Are you familiar with that, or?
I did my homework. You watch the 2013 Bassmaster Classic or the 2016 Bassmaster Classic here on Grand Lake this time of year and just do your research, and so I wasn't doing anything that hadn't been done many times before and done real well. So just a matter of doing your homework ahead of time.
Well, good deal. And now here you're Missouri Conservation, is that right? Or
Yeah, I'm the protection chief with the Missouri Department of Conservation. I supervise the conservation agents in the state of Missouri. So, I used to fish tournaments quite a bit 15, 20 years ago before kids came along in baseball and the job. Now that the kids are grown and I get an occasional weekend off, I thought, well, I'm going to try and get back into this. So this is my first time fishing the Solo Pro Series. I really enjoyed it. It was a well-run event. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Grand Lake now, so this is only my second time here, so I've enjoyed it. It's been a great couple days.
Well, it sounds like if you like these kind of lakes, Lake of the Ozarks is going to be one of your good ones too, it sounds like.
Well, I used to live down there. I was the agent in Camden County back around 2000, and I fished it a little bit then. In fact, started a little bass club, the Camden Castaways, back in the day, back in about 2000, back when I was into fishing a lot more before kids kind of came along. And so, yeah, I fished that lake quite a bit, but I haven't had a lot of days like I've had today. Today was just a great day.
Kevin Miller, finished second today in the Solo Pro here at Grand Lake in Oklahoma. I started out today fishing docks with an A-rig, and I probably had an limit before 8 o'clock. I probably had about a 10.5 pound limit by 8 o'clock, and then I kept upgrading throughout the day. The A-rig bite really died about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I went from 4 hours there without any bites on the A-rig, so I just decided to go shallow, and I ended up catching a 464 right at about 2 o'clock this afternoon in real shallow water on a spinnerbait. So, as far as practice went, I practiced Friday for the Anglers in Action tournament on Saturday, and I never had a bite, so I just abandoned my plan and then went down lake in the Anglers in Action and got onto a bite yesterday afternoon, and then I did that this morning, and that's how I caught them. I probably had 20 to 25 keepers today. So